I was always one of these people that were like, yeah, I'll do that someday. I think I'll go there someday. I think I want to see this someday. Someday is not on the calendar. Someday never comes. Let's talk about it. I am guilty of being one of these kind of people that put things off and kept putting things off, thinking that I'll just do it someday. And, when you don't get specific about what you want or where you want to go or what you want to be or what you want to achieve or things that you want to do or experience in life, if you don't get specific with yourself and get serious about it, you'll never do it. And especially if you don't ever write it down and keep it in the forefront, you'll never get around to it. One of the people that inspire me, I want to read a quote by him. He commented something that I thought was important enough to write down. He said, "The rat race of life pulls us away from what we truly desire." The rat race will distract us and get us off our goals so easily that we don't even realize it. What do you want out of life? What do you really want to experience? I find out what's helping me most lately is just to start thinking on paper and just start writing down things that I want, places that I want to go, clothes that I want to have, or weight loss goal. Just whatever pops in my mind, I sit there in those moments, in those quiet moments, and I just start writing stuff down. I don't try to think about it too hard. I just write stuff that I want or want to do. And then later on, go back over it, maybe that evening, and see if I can formulate it into a better statement of where I want to be at this time next year. When it comes to someday, write your ideas down. Write your deepest desires down. Procrastination steals your potential. The longer you put something off, the harder it's going to be to start. Hard to keep your mind on things when, I know you guys are busy, you're busy working. That is why I like his statement, because the rat race can steal away your dreams and desires. Before long, you'll forget all about them. And I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want it to happen to me. There's never a perfect time to start. There's always going to be shit going on. There's always going to be natural disasters going on. There's always going to be economic downturns and negative news going on. There's always going to be all these things that are in place, and they're just things that we have to deal with to reach what we want to do. One of them is considerations. I have been very guilty about letting considerations stop me, and they shouldn't. They're part of the process. When you think about your fears and considerations and you figure out what they are, the good thing about them is they bring to the forefront what you've been fearing all along. When it brings it in front of you like that, it gives you an opportunity to deal with them finally, that you finally know what you're really afraid of. Recognize that that's just part of the process. You're thinking about, let's say you want to go on a dream vacation, and you keep putting it off because you don't have enough money, or you keep putting it off because you can't get enough time off work, or you keep putting it off because all these things, the rat race again, stifling your dream of getting to Hawaii or touring Europe or going to Australia or somewhere you want to experience. It just keeps floating out there. And I don't want that to happen to you. I am guilty of letting that happen to me, and I don't want that to happen to you. So the other thing is roadblocks that get in the way. And this may be a bad example, but let's say your goal is you and your wife want to build a dream house, and you're starting the process, and you've found the plot of land, you've got waterfront property, you've been working at it all your life, and you want to do this thing, and you finally get down to the business of tackling this big achievement that you want to achieve. Well, this may be a bad example, but roadblocks to that might be permits that you need from the city or from the county or from whatever jurisdiction you're in, and they're delaying it. They're taking way too long. And the longer they take, the more expenses keep piling up and the more you have to wait. And those are just roadblocks that we all face that are thrown at us from the world. So don't let those kind of things stop you. Don't let your fears stop you. Don't let your automatic negative thoughts stop you, the considerations. Those are just part of the process, and those are three things that we all have to figure out a way to get around or to deal with in order to get over that hump and reach what we want to reach. The next thing is small steps can be powerful toward what you want, what you really want. Now I'm sitting across the table from the guy, and he's like, "What do you want?" And that's all he ever keeps asking me, "What do you want?" And at first I'm thinking, "Oh, I want a big house on the beach, and I want a Ferrari and Lamborghini parked in the garage, and I want a big monster truck, and I want a swimming pool, and I want all these things." After that, the question comes back, "What do you want?" My mind goes blank. And it's because I haven't gotten to know myself enough to be able to articulate what is inside that I desire. That's why I think it's important for us to write our dreams down on a piece of paper or a notepad and look at it morning and night, every morning and night, and revise it, constantly revise it and work on it. Be selfish with it. It's for you. This is your life that we're talking about. This is what you really want out of life. And if you let it drift into a someday, which someday never comes, the dream will die and you'll just be going through the motions of everyday rat race. Baby steps can be powerful. Even if it's just making a phone call or doing a little bit of research on what you want or what you want to get or where you want to go, or maybe it's the dream career you want. Baby steps can be powerful. If you do a baby step every day, and I'm thinking about, the book Atomic Habits that everybody talks about, and I'm thinking if I just did a small thing toward what I wish for my life each day, with that goal in mind that's time bound. You have to put a date and time on it, when you want to have it by, what date and time, because that will give you something you can measure against. Baby steps can be so powerful because they may seem insignificant and, you're not getting anywhere, but you put them all together and you're making great progress. I'm trying to think of real life examples of people that I've witnessed overcome and reach their goals. I can't think of their names right now. So I will just give you myself as an example that one thing I accomplished back in 2023 that I was a little bit anxious and fearful about doing, but I wanted to do it. And what happened to me was I wanted to do it so bad. I had this bad burning desire inside of me to do this. And I just felt like if I didn't do this thing, I would hate myself. I would regret it for the rest of my life. And it was one of the bucket list things I wanted to do, and that was go coast to coast in this and see this country by motorcycle. I was afraid to do it not because of the motorcycle. I had been riding motorcycles most of my life. From when I was a kid growing up on dirt bikes, mini bikes, dirt bikes, etc., I wasn't afraid of the motorcycle. What I was most afraid of, I found out, was being out there by myself without a safety net. That was one of the biggest fears I had. And I overcame that because my burning desire to do that thing overcame that fear. And I found a way to do it where I didn't feel like I was completely alone. What happened was I started writing this goal down. I started writing down all the things I needed as far as luggage, things to pack, things to have for first aid and safety and flat tires, you name it, tools, things I needed to have on that machine before I took off for my trip. And what happened was things started showing up along the way while I was doing that helped me. I started watching other people's channels and people's travel channels and blogs, and I started doing research, baby step, and I found this group of people based out of Florida that just so happened to be getting together. Everybody on their channel who was interested in it, they would sign up, and they were going to take a road trip from Florida up to Chicago, Illinois, and they were going to go from there. When everybody met up there, they were going to go from there all the way on Route 66, all the way from there out to LA. And when I saw that, I thought, yes, that's me. Sign me up. So I signed up because I felt like that would give me a certain amount of accountability because people expected me to show up. And it also gave me a way to feel like I was not going on this whole trip completely alone by myself without people around to help. I kept planning and strategizing and getting my equipment together and doing things to get ready for that day. I did it. It was a goal that I set for myself. It was just something that I had a burning desire to do because I didn't want to face myself in the mirror if I never did that. I had written it on my bucket list, and I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off for someday. And I was tired of someday being out there. Someday is just not going to come, and it's going to affect you the same way if you let it. Don't do what I did. Don't keep putting it off till you're too old. That may be a bad example of somebody who's overcome the someday syndrome and reached a goal. I want you guys to not fall into that trap that I did for years and years and years. Don't wait because you'll wake up and someday has passed you by. You'll be in your 60s and you can't do things that you once were able to do, and you won't be able to get it done. And then you're going to have to look at yourself in the mirror and go, oh crap, what did I do? And we talked about this earlier. You might have some fears, some anxieties about doing something you really want. It's on the other side of what you fear. Just don't let those stop you. Recognize that all those things are a normal part of the process of achieving or going for anything that's worth it to you. In fact, if your fears and roadblocks and considerations, fears, and roadblocks, if those things don't show up for what you want, it may mean that you're not setting a goal that stretches you enough. That goal stretched me, especially when I was dealing with eyesight issues on the way back. That was a challenge. My biggest fears were all coming back into my brain at that point. But you can't let those stop you. You've got to move forward and keep moving. And the good thing about fears, considerations, and roadblocks is they bring up what you've been fearing and feeling anxious about all these years. You'll finally recognize what's been stopping you, and you can learn how to deal with it. Instead of someday, turn waiting into acting. Instead of someday, tell yourself day one and start writing. Start writing down baby steps. Start writing down certain fears, considerations you have, roadblocks you might run into, and strategize how you're going to deal with those. Just start there. That way, if you do it consistently try to do it consistently for 30 days. I'm going to try this because they say it takes 20, 30 days, I think, to form a habit. So I'm thinking if you get up early in the morning before the rest of your house does, or if you're alone, etc., take 10 minutes before you go to work, if you can, and just sit at your kitchen table while you're drinking your coffee. That's my favorite time of day to think about things, is when I'm having my early morning coffee is to sit there and think, what can I do today, even though it's just a tiny step, a phone call, research, looking into something, what can I do today to move me towards where I want to be? The last thing I want to mention about this is you deserve to have all your dreams come true. You deserve it. I don't care what you've been through in life or what you've done wrong or what people have said or all the negative voices and people. You deserve to have your dreams and have the things you want in life. Don't let the myth of someday keep that from you. You deserve a life that you dreamed about when you were younger, and somehow the rat race stole it away from you, and now here you are. And you young guys, if you're a younger guy, please take this to heart and don't put things off. Write down, make a list of places you want to see, people you want to meet, things you want to try, perhaps material possessions that you want to get. Write down those things and look at them daily, morning and night. Keep revising it because it'll change. Your goals and your dreams and things you want will change over time. But just don't let them die. Don't let them die into the someday bucket because the someday bucket will kill it. That's what I wanted to share today. I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope I said something that may help you. Just do the best you can with what you've got, wherever you're at, and keep doing steps each day that align with your dreams, because you deserve a good life, and the only way you can have it is you have to make it happen. I have to make it happen for me. Nobody's going to do my exercises for me. Nobody's going to lose the 5 pounds off my gut for me. I have to go do it. So go do it. Give me some feedback, what works for you and what doesn't. I wanted to add a small addendum to this video, something that I forgot that's really important. When you're working on your dreams and your goals, don't tell anybody. My strategy for getting to where you want to be is one of the most important things is don't share what you're up to or what you want to do with anyone. Keep it to yourself until you accomplish it and let them see what you did. But don't tell anybody what you're aiming for or what you're working on, because friends, family, coworkers, everybody will try to kill it. It's just the way people are, and I don't want you to get derailed, sidetracked, or your dreams and goals killed by negative voices that you're going to hear coming at you the minute you tell somebody what you're trying to do. Don't share it with anybody unless they're a very, very trusted, close friend or family member. Other than that, keep your mouth shut, keep it to yourself. Your desires and your dreams and goals are yours and yours only. Don't share them with anybody that you don't trust 100%. Keep it to yourself. Go after what you want. You'll make it.